Ooh, welcome everybody. What's going on? It is Pyrotechnics. It is Tuesday, July 23rd. I cheated and looked at my calendar, and now I know what day it is, which is important when the day is almost done and it's 8 p.m. on the West Coast, the Pacific Coast, as it's also known. Today we're going to be doing another cast, a cast of a game that was posted on our cast that I said I was going to do the day before and didn't do, and now I'm going to do today, and all the reasons. Okay, so who's ready for this? Are you? I'm excited. This is going to be a TVP. I've been told it's nuts, it's crazy, it's weird, it's out there, so get ready and hold on to whatever it is you hold on to when you're worried about things. It's going to be nuts. So without any further ado, I think we should get right into it. Sort of like that. But here it is. Okay, this is Derelict Watcher, and this is PachecoOwnz and djProtocol. And here we are, spawning in the top right-hand corner. It is our red Terran player. It is PachecoOwnz. And his opponent spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Let's give it up for the blue Protoss. It is djProtocol. I like that name. That's pretty sweet. They both are, to be honest, but that one is pretty freaking awesome, I gotta admit. So, I'm not hearing much sound. Okay, I'm hearing sound, but not a lot. I'm going to pause just for a moment and try and get my sound cranked up just a little bit. Tiny little bit. And there we are. So, opening up this game, we see both players so far transitioning into just very, very simple standard play. A little wall off from our Terran player, an early pylon from our Protoss, followed up by an immediate scout. This is what Protoss like to do lately. They like to be really, really annoying. It's not just that they're scouting. They will tend to block with a pylon, maybe. Block your early fast expansion, get up in your business, maybe gas steal one or two. There's a lot of crazy things that you can do as a Protoss player that just completely throw your opponent, whether it's Terran or Zerg, or even another Protoss, just completely off guard. They are very dangerous these days, but very easy, nice open up for Pacheco. He is going nothing but barracks at the moment, and that probe's going to get inside his base, just start attacking him. Force, unfortunately, another SCV off the line. God, I know so many Terran players that hate when this happens, but the probe's going to get away. Other guy is going to chase him around the corner. Seeing that refinery coming out early, we are going to probably see, well, I want to go ahead and guess, since there's immediately 3 workers heading on gas, some Reaper harassment, but we'll see what's going to go on now that djProtocol has been tipped off to that. He's going to head back on home. Another pylon goes down, as well as a singular gateway. No blocking off whatsoever. This might just be the makings of a 4-gate. We'll have to wait and see. But meanwhile, Pacheco is chasing that probe all the way out of his base. The barracks no longer producing anything at the moment. And yes, it is going to be Reapers. They are going to be rallied nowhere for the time being. They are going to hang out, and so is that SCV. Have a little party, maybe knock back a few brews. But before long, hopefully we'll be seeing some jetpacks across the map. Cybercore now going down. djProtocol takes his second gas, hoping to possibly transition maybe into a 3-gate robo from this, judging by the number of gases taken. I don't really know Protoss build orders as well as I should like. But what's this? djProtocol is taking his probe into a sneaky, sneaky little corner, building himself up a proxy pylon for this eventual 4-gate push that will, in fact, be coming out. The double gas for the Protoss players, so essential. But now we see a reactor coming out, as well as this one Reaper now speeding across the map. Tons and tons of SCVs are continuously being produced. No more gases being mined. So this is not a very heavy Reaper attack, just one. And no real follow-up behind this. Hopefully going to keep it here. But look, we're going to see a proxy robo bay. So there is going to be a 3-gate robo. And unfortunately, Pacheco's not seeing this right now. He is going to be able to take a couple of hits off those probes. They're being microed pretty well. Being forced to pull off the line, though, now. djProtocol heavily committing to this defense, but he might even lose a probe or two. And in the meantime, this Reaper is going to have to get out of this base. Too many probes are chasing it. But right now, this is really all djProtocol wants. He's got his robo bay, robo facility, pardon me, coming up. This second base is not really going to be done and heavily mined out in time before really a big attack's going to come his way. 2 more barracks now going down. A probe coming in to scout, sees this extra expansion going down, and he might even be able to get into the base again, but I think these Marines are going to be able to fire it down quite quickly. Sees those other 2 barracks going down, though. Excellent scouting coming out of our Protoss player. 1 Immortal now on the way. And a second gateway is now being added on. Cybernetics Core is researching, but not chrono boosting. Gateway is instead chrono boosting. The Zealot and Stalker are going to have to walk across the map very quickly. But what's this? Oh, man. That Robo Bay has, in fact, been scouted. This is not good. djProtocol might be in a bit of trouble, but the Immortal does come out, and the Reaper is forced back. This might be too little too late. The Marines are going to have to start coming out in force if they want to stop this pressure that is sure to come. Bunkers now being added on. 2 of them just completing. I think Pacheco might be able to hold this off. But we're going to see 2 more gateways now in construction, almost done. And this 1 Immortal, very lonely up top. Oh, so lonely. He's about to be joined by a little friend. And this push will come at about the 7.5 minute mark. I'm going to go ahead and guess. Warp Gate just finishing up. 4th gateway is now on the way, but this pressure is a little bit delayed by way of it being scouted, and now these 2 bunkers are being filled. More bunkers in construction. I think Pacheco is going to hold this, and because the Protoss is on 1 base, he's getting very far behind. If this push doesn't work, this is going to be trouble for djProtocol. And because he did build this so far out of the way, he is going to have a little bit of distance to march across. He is waiting for that 3rd Immortal pressure. I did say 7.5 minutes. It's looking like it's going to be more like 7:50 when the attack is about to hit. 8 minutes just now, I'm thinking, is going to be the time. But no. Protocol is still waiting. Still spawning in a few more units, getting himself a lot of sentries, up to 4 now. He's got a couple of Zealots. But there are just so many bunkers. And even though only 3 of them are filled with Marines and a Reaper, I think this might be enough to hold. A couple of SCVs could get pulled off to repair. SCVs needing to be microed a little bit better than that. Pacheco is though being able to. He is going to be able to hold this. Even though those SCVs are sustaining heavy damage, so are those bunkers. 1 goes down almost immediately. The Marines get fired down very quickly. Oh, this is a very heavy push, and these Immortals are just so powerful. Mules now being pulled off the line. A good force field, couple of force fields there to keep those mules from repairing. More of the Marines trying to hightail it to the bunkers, but only 4 more get into those. More are being rallied up, but these Immortals are being pushed back just barely. A lot of SCVs went down in that battle. So many workers were killed that day. And the follow-up push is going to, of course, still be heavy, but right now the worker supply is in the favor of the Terran player, the army supply in the favor of the Protoss, but as the game goes longer, djProtocol is going to be in trouble. His Immortals have their shields recharging back up right now. He's only got 2 at the moment, a couple of sentries as well, lots and lots of Zealots to take that damage, but now we see Marauders out on the field. More bunkers are being added back on. More units are coming out. More Marines in production. Stim and combat shields on the way. But is it going to be enough? This is going to be another heavy push with 3 Immortals now coming out. More Zealots on the way. Total is now up to 8 or 9. This is a heavy, heavy push coming out. But if this doesn't work, djProtocol is in a lot of trouble. But Pacheco needs to get there with his Marines. He does have some of his Marauders firing down with those. Well, they're not fully upgraded yet, but the Marauders doing a lot of damage to those Protoss units. But these force fields, so pro, keeping the bunkers from being repaired. So many SCVs being pulled off for absolutely nothing right now. And it looks like Pacheco is going to have to retreat. He is blocked off. There is no escape from this push. The Immortals doing a lot of damage to the command center, having to lift off, bailing out. These Marines are going to go down. And so is this supply depot. It just absolutely melts. Here come the Zealots, the Stalkers, the Immortals. Well, just 1 Stalker. More SCVs being pulled off the line. I don't know if there's any way Pacheco can save this game. This is an all-in. The SCVs coming out to try and repel this push. It's just down to it. This is almost like back in the Warcraft 3 days, man. You know when you had humans, you could just repel an attack by converting them into temporary workers. The Widowmine's just coming out now, but there's no workers. There's nothing. Pacheco is, or djProtocol is even following this up, but Pacheco has nothing now. He's got 2, 3 SCVs. He's going to have to call down a whole hell of a lot of mules to get back in this game. But his Protoss opponent is still only on 1 base. 19 workers, though. The supply has heavily shifted in favor of djProtocol. This game is going to be a tough one for our Terran player. He does have a couple of Widow Mines. He could more strategically place them. It looks like he will, in fact, do that. And he's going to send out... This is risky. This is very risky. He's going to send out a small little scouting force with biomines to... I don't know what he's going to do to this. And because of that sentry, observer, sorry, he's going to be able to, you know, see those Widow Mines, and they're not going to do anything. They don't even get to fire before that happens. That was a complete loss. And unfortunately, Pacheco is going to have to retreat. This large Stalker or Zealot, pardon me, and 1 Immortal Force is just way too powerful right now. And djProtocol being able to push right up into the main base, there is almost nothing left. But he's going to sit there. He's not going to push this advantage that he so could take right now. He's got so many Zealots. This is always a tough call when you're all-inning, though. Do you continue that all-in? Do you back off and try to contain? Do you sit by and do nothing while your robo facility gets fired down by medevac Marines and Marauders? That looks like it's what's going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see how the Protoss player responds. He is probably going to just go all in here. He says, I can take it down, I don't really care, whatever. And those Marines Marauders are stimming to take out the Immortal. They're going to need to pick back right on up, though. There is nothing in Pacheco's base. Absolutely nothing. A couple of medevacs now. One more is healing up a couple of those Marines, but it needs to get in the base and defend. All the barracks are going to get fired down. What is Pacheco going to do to stop this? There is no air attack. He's going to lift off all of his buildings. And he's just going to float his Marines and Marauders there. But at the moment, everything that can be lifted off has, and there's really nothing else left for djProtocol to do but keep on killing everything. It is looking to be a base trade of some proportions. So even though djProtocol looks like he's taken this game by a landslide, there's not a lot currently in djProtocol's base. There is a fair number of units heading towards him right now, and there is little anti-air. Very, very little anti-air. So Pacheco is going to be able to do a lot of damage right here, and he pulled his SCVs too. Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. Even though they're walled off at the moment, there's really not much that can be done, and Pacheco, well, yeah, you can just lift that off again. Troll-a-lol. He can't really build any more units, but djProtocol just has nothing, and he's pulled all of his probes. What is he doing? He's running them right through the line of Pacheco. He is getting away with several of them, but this is an interesting base race, to say the least. So many SCVs now in the middle of the fight, and finally we're going to see a full retreat from djProtocol, who really has almost nothing going for him mining-wise. He's in a bit of trouble. But at the moment, we are going to see Pacheco chilling with just a couple of his buildings that remain. The orbital commands really could be mining right now, but it looks like he's going to take another command center right back at the natural of djProtocol. Oh, but this Immortal and these... My goodness, these Zealots are going to get in just in time, and he's going to have to cancel. Oh, run away, little SCVs. You can't do anything against Zealots. A full-on engagement is going to be very, very hard for Pacheco to take right now, but djProtocol running all over the map does not know what to do, and now we're going to see some mules mining out again. So very, very low supply and production for both these players. An army supply of 33 for djProtocol, 21 for our Terran Pacheco. And he just lifts back on up because, guess what? There's no anti-air, man. Nothing djProtocol can do against this army right now. And just the drop harassment continues unabated. djProtocol unable to do anything against this force once it lifts up into the air with medevacs, and there it goes. So frustrating for the Protoss player, and one SCV does get sniped off. He's going to now, djProtocol is now going to follow everything, but there's no mining left. Correction, there is a little bit of mining, but it is going to get killed by this Marauder, potentially. Probes are going to have to run away. And even though he's sitting in his own base right now, Pacheco is in a bit of trouble. This Nexus is not going to be very useful if it even stays alive at all. So more things in production. We're going to see one Marine, but he can't really produce anything, unfortunately. And here comes another drop. Not extremely powerful, but instant liftoff. But here come the probes again. They're coming back to mine. Well, right now it's kind of hard to call this game. Things are very, very silly at the moment. And Pacheco is holding out pretty well. This Nexus not doing a whole lot of anything. But the probes are now back to mining, and djProtocol is looking to gain a lead once again. Now that he's able to produce, he is also not supply blocked, which Pacheco has pretty much been all game. But the choice of Immortal and Zealot all in, a very, very difficult one when there are medevacs on the field. So the total army supply, I want to take a look at this. 4 medevacs, 3 SCVs, 4 Marauders, 6 Marines, against 10 Zealots and 2 Immortals, who cannot hit air. At all. But right now, even though there are 8 mining probes, well, Pacheco could very easily get back into this game. Unfortunately, he's not building much of anything. He's really only sort of microing his units around the map, just sort of cleaning up. He has a decent-sized force, and he's got 2 orbital commands, but he's not producing anything out of them. He can't. He's supply blocked. He does have 3 SCVs, so he needs to get them back to base and to start building things ASAP. Otherwise, djProtocol will very easily take this game. He still has 3 gates. He still has a fair number of pylons. He has been confined back to his singular base that he really never left for real. But Pacheco is looking for a very sneaky spot to start planting a couple of supply depots away from the prying eyes of this observer. Very, very sneaky. Very good. Another probe coming out of the field right now for Protocol, looking like he's going to be scouting. Not really sure, but he is heading straight for... Oh no. Straight for... Well, no, it's going to get dropped on. Oh no, it doesn't! And he's going to see supply depots, and he will in fact move out. Or will he? Couple of supply depots now out in the field. Lots of mules out. SCVs now being produced in numbers, and more supply depots. A couple of SCVs not really microed at the moment. But at the same time, Pacheco... Well, sorry, djProtocol's not really doing anything. He's not even microing his units. He's barely attacking with his Immortals. One goes down, and completely pulling back now is this medevac. Seeing what there is to see. There is, in fact, a Twilight Council out on the field. Instant pickup. That medevac just keeps on harassing. But now the supply and the income, to be frank, is swinging in the Terran's favor. He's technically on 2 bases, sort of. Building his gas back up, and he's starting to produce Marines out of his other starport, or barracks. Meanwhile, the medevacs just continue to sit and see what they can do. A Dark Shrine now incoming for djProtocol. He wants to end this with units that just can't be seen. But there are scanner sweeps, so we will see. Following him around still into his own base is djProtocol, following this one lone medevac who will in fact scout the Dark Shrine. And we're not going to see a quick drop. Okay. More barracks now hitting the field for Pacheco, who is looking to take an economic lead over his Protoss opponent, but this Dark Shrine is very, very sneaky. It has in fact been scouted, but how much will that really affect things? I don't know. This is still really anyone's game to call. The army supply is just about dead even. Well, 25 to 20. Worker supply is now creeping up for Pacheco, who is in a very good shape. This game has just really evened out, gone back to square one. And another base not being taken for djProtocol, who appears to be safe for the moment. Dark Shrine now out on the field. And a couple of DTs being warped in at this sneaky pylon location. Going straight for this orbital command, hoping to snipe it, take back the economic lead. Pacheco is in trouble if he doesn't see this. The SCVs are going to just go down one by one. But here comes the drops all the way in. He's not taking a scan, though. Uh-oh, Pacheco is in a bit of trouble. These DTs are right here. It looks like he might even be baiting them. But he's not. Not enough energy for a scan. Oh, no. This is not good at all. Pacheco is in trouble. These DTs are now on the field. Even though he scouted them, he was not able to do anything about it. He doesn't actually even have enough energy for a sweep. So, unfortunately, the eBay is going to go down. There it goes. But the DTs are fast. They're getting out of there, man. Oh, no. And they will get away completely unscathed. more of them attacking these other supply depots out on the side. So unfortunately, there goes the other scan, and one DT will get fired down, another one will escape. 2 DTs still out on the field. Pacheco, for 2 scans, only gets 1 DT. He loses so much in minerals, mining time, and SCVs. So unfortunate. But he's not out of this game just yet. He has a very operational base in the back here, building up another eBay. Here come the DTs again to do a little bit more damage. And they will. Not enough energy for a sweep still. Oh, you better pull those SCVs back. This is not good. Pacheco pretty much giving up on this base. Hopefully he'll lift his command center before it gets fired down. But he has to pull out of here. Meanwhile, djProtocol is on 2 bases, and that orbital command does get taken down. Enough energy for a sweep. Hopefully just about incoming. Oh, and a Raven's now hit the field, so those DTs will, in fact, be all but useless. I completely missed when that was built. I need to switch back to production. But still on 1 base, we do see Pacheco mining up heavily. Lots and lots of gas. Wonder what he will use all that gas for. Probably some air units to take this out. Still, that sneaky pylon. This is a very, very close, tense game. Neither player is really sure what the other is doing entirely. Kind of hard to call. I mean, as far as he knows, there's only 1 base still for djProtocol, but as far as djProtocol goes, well, he pretty much knows quite a lot, except for the fact that his army is now heading straight for his base. 1 more DT heading to that other base will wreak a lot of havoc if it's not seen. And unfortunately, it isn't going to be seen. Not just yet. Here it comes, and it's going to start taking out a couple of SCVs before they all get pulled off the line. 3 SCVs down, the missile turret detecting, but the army's so far away, this is going to be problems. This DT will, in fact, take out that missile turret before it can go back, taking out another SCV. 4 now is its total kill count. 5, I think. 6, maybe? Yeah, it takes out 6 before it fully goes down. So much trouble for Pacheco. He really needs to get on this. He is taking another command center now back at his natural expansion. Going to be moving out. Full medevac drops inbound, but now there are High Templar on the way, and if they get a feedback off on those medevacs, it will be game over. All the Chrono Booster now being spent on Templar Archives, upgrading to Storm and these Warp Gates. Still only 3 of them, but that's more than enough for djProtocol to start producing mad units out of these 2 bases. Here comes the drop, though. Firing down the pylon that is powering this Templar Archives, but he's got to know now, oh god, there's Storm, oh god, there's feedback, and I need to get the hell out of Dodge. But the High Templar do come in, storm the units, it's big storms. 1 feedback goes down, another big engagement ends, unfortunately, for Pacheco, now that the High Templar are out on the field. So, Pacheco is going to need to change his strategy up. What will he do? He builds another medevac and a couple more Marines, but he is in trouble at this time. His income is not nearly high enough to be able to just remax his bases just like that. He needs to focus on mining, getting a sizable defense force, and harassing and denying this Protoss player, who has positioned himself very nicely between his main and his natural, keeping any potential harassment at bay. Unfortunately, djProtocol can no longer produce any more High Templar because that Archives was fired down. More Dark Templar, though, out on the field, wreaking havoc, taking out this reactor. And they will be able to fire it down before just one of them gets away, and it won't. There it goes. More and more gas is being mined now for the Terran player, just an obnoxious amount of it. Not sure what he is going to be developing at this point. He's starting to build siege tanks, though, out of his factory. There is his factory, starting to build siege tanks. Okay, that could be potentially useful against this force. Not against the Immortal, but there is only one of them out on the field. A couple of High Templar now, mostly Zealot-based army. And here comes the force from Pacheco. Looks like they will meet just about in this fountain in the middle of the field. But who will have the better positioning? Oh my goodness, if those High Templar get in position, they'll land some monster storms. There goes one! And the Raven blows up one High Templar. Another is sure to follow, but those are some very low health Marines and Marauders. They are going to be in a lot of trouble if a storm lands right on top of them. Very, very close game. This is highly intense. Neither player really taking full advantage of the situation, but remember, they don't really know what the other fully has at any given time. But we are now up to just about 2 bases for the Terran and 3 for our Protoss, who continues his Dark Templar harassment, taking out and supply blocking PachecoOwnz on his supply depots. This is so much harassment for our Terran player. How is he going to be able to come back from this? I do not know. He's got 1 siege tank out of the field. He cannot produce anymore. 2 siege tanks, sorry. At the moment, he needs to be getting up a whole boatload of supply depots. Meanwhile, this forward pylon here presenting a clear and present threat. Remember, public safety announcement. If you see this, kill it. Reasonably sized force repairing the SCVs are now repairing a couple of siege tanks and the Raven and, of course, these medevacs that are now on the field. And the Dark Templar will get fired down, very fortunately, but the barracks does get friendly fired upon. Bit of a misclick there. But 2 barracks and a factory going down. More and more production ramping up right now for our Terran player, but djProtocol is now sitting pretty on 3 bases. His worker supply is just behind that of Pacheco, who is now moving out and hopefully going to scout this forward pylon. There it goes. Come on. And the pylon will go down. So 2 bases still now for our Terran player. He could very easily take a 3rd, in fact, even back to his natural, but he is more likely to be taking something a little bit more out of the ordinary. But djProtocol now moving out with a small force, mostly consisting of Zealots, a couple of Mortals, and 1 High Templar, while this big force goes in for Pacheco. Well, who's going to get to the base first? It looks like Pacheco will make it in there if he does, in fact, engage. He might even be able to take this base out, but he's sort of standing on 1 foot, says, all right, I want to go for this base. It's less defended. I can handle it. Is he going to force djProtocol back, though? Or will djProtocol commit very fully to this attack, and we'll see another base trade? Looks like we will see a base trade, but it is Pacheco who is doing the heaviest amount of damage, taking out all of those probes as they come up off the line. djProtocol now making for the bigger and more profitable of the bases. But it looks like an instant liftoff for Pacheco. He's going to move all of his buildings out of the way. But we are now seeing a full-on base race. Pacheco coming in to take out this natural mining base of djProtocol. And the Nexus will, in fact, go down very, very shortly. The tanks are getting in position, but they're not sieging up. The probes are just dropping like flies. And here we go. All of them taken out. There's nothing left but the main base. Another one is coming down, but it's being fired on by this very small force of Marines and Marauders. Bit of a hit squad, really. And Pacheco completely lifting off, running himself around the map, hoping to just finish this game off as it stands right now. Thermal Lance finishing up, but only 1 Colossus out on the field. And it will get fired down very, very easily. Mismicroed all the way by djProtocol, and 1 Immortal as well. Nothing left for the main base, and djProtocol leaves the game knowing there's nothing left he can do. Very exciting, very back and forth. Wow, I mean, my throat is just dry. There was so much action, so much micro going on there, it was impossible to tell what the players were transitioning to, what they were switching, what kind of stuff was really going on behind the scenes. A lot of sneaky moves out of both players, really. I liked it a lot, actually, from djProtocol. He transitioned pretty nicely, but he did not have any anti-air until those High Templar. The medevacs did all the damage and kept the game even after that ridiculous early game push. Total time, 37-27. Longer game than you thought it was going to be, huh? Well, I hope you enjoyed it. This is it for me. This is Pyrotechnics. I'm going to go make some dinner. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed the show. This was StarCasts. And cheers. GLHF. Oh, and I forgot. I'm going to mash the GG button. That's what it's there for. Don't look at me like that. Alright, go home. Have a good night.